Well, welcome everybody. The sun came out just on cue. We ordered that up, so just like everything else with the project, it's meant to be. I'd like to welcome everybody here. This is a very significant day. My name is Ryan Huppert. I'm an administrator of the program, and can't tell you how excited we are to be at this juncture. It's been a long road coming. This process has involved many stakeholders, many people who hold Blandford near and dear to their heart, myself included. And I think we've done a very good job of gathering input from the community in the design process and really honoring what Blandford School means to so many people. It's a very impactful program, and I think this building will serve to further that impact and strengthen it. Obviously, wouldn't be here without the support of so many private funders, especially the Wegge Foundation. We're very thankful that they were able to spearhead the campaign, and so many other people followed suit. This really serves as a symbolic program of much significance with all of the private support. It's just a real honor for the public schools to have the support of so many private funders, so we're very thankful. This program is 39 years in the making, and this really will serve to create a legacy of the program, and hopefully we'll be around for many more years to impact many more students. So with that, I would like to welcome up Mr. Mayor Hartwell.
Thank you, Mr. Huppert. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a great day this is, huh? This is, you know, I was just thinking on the way over, in a time when public education is so beleaguered and funding for public education is under attack, when too many of us in political office say, on the one hand, education is the most important thing for us, for our state to grow and thrive, for our nation to be great, and yet we're not committing the funds to support education. And so here's an example of the public of a public institution, a public school, where the private sector has stepped forward and said this is important. It's important for us to make sure that children for generations to come have the same kind of an experience of education and environmental science and henology. What is that? What do you call that? Henology that students have had for 39 years at this location. In fact, these buildings were old 39 years ago. I'm sure of it. But the private sector with philanthropic giving has stepped forward and has made a huge difference here. And so we are all grateful to those who provided the resources to make this happen. It's also a wonderful story, of course, about the history between the city and Blandford Nature Center, the city and Blandford School. This real estate that we're on, it was just pointed out to me that we're in the city of Grand Rapids, city of Walker. We've got a Grand Rapids public school. I'm going to check that when I get back, Tim. But Tim said it, so for right now, I believe it. And the relationship between the public schools and the city on this particular school is really quite remarkable. The Nature Center itself is under the ownership of the city of Grand Rapids. I believe that history is right, although it's moved. Somebody help me with that. Is that still right?
The land is owned by the city.
Thank
now
you.
It's run nonprofit.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. The land is owned by the city and it's run as a nonprofit organization, and its founder and bright light is with us today, Mary Jane Dockery, and we're just delighted for this kind of partnership. So I told the beepers as I came in that they will be able to come back to this beautiful building and talk about the old days when it was so hard and you were in trailers and you know it got cold in the winter and you froze, but you prevailed and graduated from the 6th grade at Blandford, and there'll be a brand new beautiful school building. Too bad you guys won't get a chance to use it, but I know you'll come back and tell great stories. One other thing I would like to mention in terms of the relationship between the city and the Grand Rapids Public Schools is upcoming. John, is it Friday? 17th. We have the White House Office of Faith-Based Organizations coming here. In fact, Mr. Rodriguez, who is going to visit here, is a favorite son of Grand Rapids. David is his father, right?
That's right.
And coming here to Grand Rapids, meeting with the Grand Rapids Public Schools in a group that the schools have pulled together for this meeting. So I celebrate the relationship between our city and our schools, and look forward to it continuing. Mr. Huppert, shall I turn this back to you?
We need to invite up the Board of Education.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my good friend and collaborator, partner in crime, and another bright light here, Sunita Lanier, President of the School Board.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to quickly, before I give my brief remarks, acknowledge my colleagues, those who are here. I'll call names and just raise your hand or stand. Dr. Tony Baker, Miss Maureen Slade, Reverend Hoskins, Dr. Mindy Hall, Ms. Jane Geetson, Mr. John O'Connor, Mr. Leonard Ross, Dr. Michael Ramos, and even the city commissioners, if you all can wave wherever you are. I didn't see who was all here. I see 2 there. You all can just be acknowledged, especially those 2. Thank you for being here. Thanks on behalf of the Board of Education to the Wege Foundation and all of the generous donors for your investment in our future leaders. You've shown your commitment to these children in so many ways. We are grateful for your generosity. I'd like to give a special thank you to Peter Wege, Ellen Satterley, Terry McCarthy of the Wege Foundation for being the lead donor at $1.5 million. I'd also like to thank the Wege Foundation for working closely with Mary Jo Coleman to help raise the remaining funds to meet the $2.3 million mark. That's another fact. Mary Jo This groundbreaking is a game changer, and it sets the stage for how GRPS and the city need to work outside the educational box to ensure all children have access to high-quality 21st century learning environments. This is the first public school in the region constructed using almost exclusively private funding, with the exception of our $250,000 contribution, which was taken from our only revenue source, our food services department. Blandford is a school of choice for many families in the Grand Rapids community because of the excellent work of the staff as well as the students. Now they'll have an excellent facility to go along with it. Thank you again. And I will turn it over to Sarah Vanderveen, I think? Or are you coming back?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
We're just going to have Sarah Vanderveen and Tom McGovern come up from Progressive A&E in Rockford, please.
Okay, great.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Vanderveen with Progressive AE, and I've been the project manager for this project. As designers, when we talk about the vision of a new school, it's often very difficult to separate our hopes for students and teachers and the future of their amazing learning model from the actual bricks and mortar of the building itself. We began this project in earnest more than a year ago now, and by starting to engage students, all of the BEEPs, last year's BEEPs, alumni, teachers, Jeff and Sherry, a variety of administrators, lots of parents and other staff, neighbors, and partners like the Nature Center and the City city of Grand Rapids. And listening to that input, we developed, as the core team developed, a vision statement that I want to read to you today. The Blandford project will support a threefold vision of the school, the nature center, and the community by creatively designing shared, multifunctional spaces in a facility that can respond to changing needs over time. The project will create an environmentally friendly facility that provides seamless transition to nature, supports visual learning and exploration, encourages curiosity and adaptability, fosters trusted relationships and core values, and inspires students to develop both as individuals and as community leaders. The facility will foster a closer relationship between the activities of the school and the programs of the Nature Center and serve as a leader in environmentally high-performance building in our community. So, wow, we set some really high goals for the project. Today begins the next chapter in that journey, and we begin to form that physical space to support this incredible vision. Over the coming months, we'll see the ideas take form. Some of the spaces include some of these things. The building will have an open common space to support multiple functions like school music practice, dance rehearsals, individual and team workspace for larger projects like poster projects, and open houses for parents. The large commons will also support other activities which we will know will grow over time. The large commons will also support, at the end, on the east end of the space, a beautiful mural project that's going to honor the legacy of this program, the lives that it's impacted, and the woman who first streamed it up, Mary Jane Dockery. Off of the commons is another really special space, a really unique learning kitchen. And some of those awesome creative cooking projects that Sherry McKay leads with the Beeps are going to be supported now by a safe, functioning kitchen that opens up into the commons. And we know that other types of learning will happen in here as the kitchen function grows and opens to the community. Nearly every space opens to the outside, blurring those lines between inside and out. There's going to be a new project lab that's a designated space for things like chicken chores and activities that might be more conducive to bringing the inside directly, or the outside directly in. Stopping there first in this little lab. The lab will have a large copper sink, courtesy of Jeff Lindy's hard work at acquiring that, and it'll be a place where the Beeps will have a lasting mark with a handcrafted tile backsplash that they've been working on. The classrooms are really at the heart of the building and will be celebrated by unique handcrafted doors that are going to be made here locally in Grand Rapids. The rooms open to airy space that's flooded by natural daylight, and carefully planned storage will support the daily activities. And that flexible layout will surely become the canvas that will continue to evolve over time. New technology will be seamless, behind the scenes as much as possible, not to interfere with the spontaneous learning, but rather to try to support that. As an environmental school, designing the most sustainable and environmentally friendly way was a given, just from the start. The building is carefully sited on the grounds to respond to the natural form of the land, considering how the approach works, the prevailing winds, orientation to take advantage of daylighting, and the careful planning for stormwater and infiltration using landforms, crushed concrete drive, rain gardens. The energy efficiency of the building envelope was studied and modeled. We'll use concrete insulated forms and cement siding for the wall construction, along with insulated metal panels that are with metal roofing for a roof, and to maximize the efficiency and the longevity of those products. The mechanical system utilizes high-efficiency strategies such as geothermal. Borings going in this week. Radiant heat flooring, thermal solar panels, and the project will have high-efficiency lighting and controls paired with those daylighting strategies. So it's really a combination of low-tech and high-tech to maximize the efficiency in the most responsible way. The materials are simple and durable, polished concrete floors, wide open ceilings, and all meeting the requirements for the industry green building standards like low VOCs and benchmarks for recycled content and local material use. The team is working very closely with the U.S. Green Building Council on the LEED process, And for certifying the building, we anticipate that this building will qualify for certification at gold or maybe even higher. So today begins the next chapter, the building of the building. And Progressive has really been honored to be a part of this exciting team and to be designing for such a special program. And we want to extend our appreciation to all of you who've given so much to the process. It's been a long road, as Mr. Hubbard mentioned, and we really look forward to seeing you back here again at the ribbon cutting for the new facility to celebrate then the next chapter of the school.
Thank you, Sarah. My name is Tom McGovern, the president of Rockford Construction. And first of all, I'd like to take a moment to thank our community leaders and our donor group that makes all this possible. It's very obvious from what you heard a few minutes ago that this wouldn't be happening without their generous gifts and time commitment to these types of events. Blandford School is actually our fifth major project in the Grand Rapids Public School System, and it feels good to really be a part of this team. This is a very, I would say it's a very unique project on a unique setting with a unique mission. And I was actually part of the first LEAP project that the Grand Rapids Public Schools did. That was the Martin Luther King Academy. And I believe that I was told this potentially could be the 9th one that's going for LEAP certification. So that was a very exciting initiative about 7 years ago, and it's good to see it's continuing, and we're all very dedicated to it. It's a commitment that we have not only to Grand Rapids, but it's also a commitment to our sustainable community construction. A new school makes such a difference for the community, and opportunity to teach students about the environment makes Blandford School especially important. I'd like to introduce Tim Marcus and Jan, if you'd raise your hands in the back corner. They're going to be on site. Jan is going to be on site on a daily basis, and Tim is in the background as a project manager, but they will be working with the current students that have the education of sustainable construction. And then as the school goes on, they'll be documenting that and having the history of the school available for the future students. And Jan has a passion for education, and this is a great match for his skills. The students will have a greater opportunity for the completed school at the end of the project. This is more than just a building. This is a learning opportunity for our future sustainable leaders in our community. And after all, this is all for them, our students. So thank you.
Again, we'd like to take this time to thank our supporters. Primarily, I would like to welcome up Ellen Satterley from the Wegge Foundation.
Thank you. This is so exciting for all of us, and the Wegge Foundation is very dedicated to public education, but especially environmental education, so this speaks volumes to our personal mission. There's three ladies that I would like to thank right off the bat for being such a key part of this partnership. Mary Jane Dockery, without her vision and continued input, we wouldn't be sitting here where we are today and looking at this new school. Anushka Steinman. Anushka, who's the director of the Blandford Nature Center, is a key partner in this project, and she's been very helpful along the way in coordinating all of the efforts between the Nature Center and the public schools. And the third person is Terry McCarthy, who's our Vice President of Programs. And Terry believed in this project way long before anybody did. And because of her dedication and commitment to this project, we were able to bring along other funders with us to make this a reality. And I would like to thank some of them today: the Steelcase Foundation, the Fry Foundation, the Peter and Emma G. Cook Foundation, the Meyer Family Foundation, DT Energy Corp., and Roger Royer is here with us today. Thanks for joining us, Roger. The Rich and Helen DeVos Family Foundation, and Jason Zylstra is here with us today. Thanks for joining us, Jason. And a lot of other great private people who funded. The Rick Gillette and Gillette family folks, Ralph Hollenstein, Wynn and Kyle Irwin, Mike and Sue Janderno, and Sue is here today. Thanks for joining us, Sue. And Marilyn and John Drake. There's many others who have given in small amounts and large amounts, but we want to thank all of you for joining us to make this a reality. Thanks so much.
Well, before we get into the dirt, which is something we're really good at here at Blandford, I'd like to welcome up the Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Larry Johnson.
Well, good afternoon. On behalf of the Superintendent, Teresa O'Neill, who was not able to be here, she had a prior commitment out of town. She was just not able to change her schedule to get here. She's deeply sorry that she cannot be here, but she wanted me to convey to you that she wanted to thank all the supporters, the donors, and just all the individuals who have been committed to this project over the years. This is a game changer for the Grand Rapids Public Schools. With all the stakeholders and the commitment that has been made and these public and private partnerships, this is the way education will have to look in order to sustain some of the programs that we're going to have to do over the years. Our kids in the city of Grand Rapids need this. They should have this, but they deserve this as well. And these young people here sitting here today will be able to come back years from now with their own kids, their own families, to see what the great legacy they're beginning to leave here. Personally, I did not know this building had been here it's over 30 plus years. I do remember coming here for alarms and go out to Blandford school to look for an alarm as a police officer, and I would come out here and say, well, where's the building? And it was just a trailer. So I'm looking forward to coming out, not on an alarm, but to just come out and see a great state-of-the-art building that our children would be able to be educated in so they can pass on the knowledge on and on and on again. So again, on behalf of Superintendent O'Neill, thank you for being here. Thanks to all the supporters and donors and all of you for taking time out of your day to come here today. At this point, we'd like to invite those that have been selected to participate in the shoveling up to the shovels.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. So, yeah, we're going to get into the dirt now. I know the kids are excited about that. But before we have, we're going to have a couple of rounds. We'll be able to take some photos. So the first folks we'd like to have come up are those people who are on the agenda and also those who have been invited. We'll get some photos with those folks. And then afterwards, we'd like to invite up the students and parents to get into the dirt as well. So thank you all.
Have a shovel, you gotta hold it up high. You guys ready? Ready? Okay, count of three, hold them up. 1, 2, 3, hold them up. Jeff and Sherry, you guys got to get up here. Jeff, Sherry, come on up. Teachers. All right. Smile.